Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Hail, ranging in size from an egg to a tennis ball, destroyed just about everything it fell on this morning here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In Arlington, Texas, the violent storm paralyzed the morning commute. In Dallas, backyards were covered in a sheet of white. More than 24 MedStar ambulances were put out of service, some of their windshields punctured by baseball-sized hail, others completely shattered. This greenhouse roof blown over by the storm, the Fort Worth Zoo said the hail killed a number of exotic birds, including 5 flamingos.
Overnight, hail, lightning, and tornadoes.
3 vortices on the ground.
At least 9 reported twisters spinning through Iowa and Illinois. Watch as lightning illuminates the horizon in Green Valley, revealing a haunting, rotating sky. In Springfield, 2 funnel clouds just hours ago. After a night of severe weather in the Prairie State, this morning, officials are still assessing all the damage. Winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, destroying numerous homes and structures. The severe winds ripping this barn apart, these horses hitting the highway. Cars creeping along roads as they take a hammering from golf ball-sized hail. In Leroy, Illinois, an inch of hail on the ground and fog rolling in, making for a ghoulish scene for those still on the road.
Where to go to get inside.
In Iowa, hail hitting so hard, drivers taking shelter.
In another important story, flood waters are getting deeper, and no place has been hit harder than Deweyville, Texas, on the Louisiana border.
This is the worst flooding Deweyville has seen in over 100 years. Everything, the sheriff's department, post office, church, school, and the town's only grocery store is underwater. Deweyville, a town of 1,100, sits west of the Sabine River. It's a funnel for many smaller tributaries carrying water downstream from 3 larger bodies of water. 20 inches of rain over the last week and 455 billion gallons of water released from an overflowing reservoir has left Deweyville flooded in 4 feet of water.
Oh, look at the dog, look at the dog.
Today, rescuers spotted animals in need of help.
Load up, big guy.
This dog had to be coaxed into the boat.
Oh.
Downriver is Krista Kostick's home with 2 feet of water inside.
It's horrific. I would have never in all my 26 years thought I would see what I'm seeing right now.
The clashes have broken out between French police forces and protesting students in the capital, Paris. Scuffles erupted after thousands of university and high school students staged a rally to voice their opposition to government reforms in the labor section. Protesters lit flares and threw smoke grenades at police. Police in return fired tear gas and arrested several people. Similar rallies were held in Lyon, Marseille, and Rennes as part of nationwide demonstrations against the government of President François Hollande. Protesters say labor reforms will prevent employers from employing new workforce.
Bomb attack on a mosque in Nigeria has left at least 24 worshippers dead and 23 others injured. The attack took place on the outskirts of the northeastern city of Maiduguri, the command center of the military's war against Boko Haram. Local sources say that 2 female bombers blew their explosives inside and outside of the mosque in a short span of time. Several bombs have exploded in recent months at roadblocks leading into Maiduguri. This is the first attack on the city since December, when Boko Haram attacked with rocket-propelled grenades and multiple bombers, killing at least 50 people.
Another challenge for the next president will be North Korea. This week, the U.S. slapped new sanctions on the North for its recent nuclear test. Today, the North responded by launching 2 ballistic missiles. David Martin has that.
The first missile, fired off the back of a truck, flew about 500 miles into the Sea of Japan. The second one disintegrated before it got over water. Both were medium-range missiles capable of reaching Japan. They were launched without warning, although missile defenses were already in position in South Korea, Japan, and the Sea of Japan to shoot them down if necessary. The missiles were never a threat, but one defense official called the shots the edgiest thing North Korea could do, short of firing off a missile with a great enough range to reach the U.S. North Korea fired the missiles in defiance of new economic sanctions ordered by the Obama administration and in response to annual exercises going on in South Korea. The missile launches are one more step in the seemingly inexorable buildup of North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Its young, brash leader, Kim Jong-un, was recently photographed with what was described as a miniaturized nuclear warhead small enough to put on top of a missile. And he boasted a North Korean hydrogen bomb could destroy New York City. That may sound like bluster, but the Pentagon can't afford to ignore it and keeps U.S. missile defenses on near constant alert.
2 more Iraqi children have died of wounds, bringing to 3 the death toll from ISIL's recent chemical attack on the town of Taza in Kirkuk province. The victims are a 10-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy who were exposed to mustard gas. Authorities say the number of people receiving treatment for problems caused by the chemical agent has gone up to 1,500. On March 9, the Takfiri terrorists launched 2 chemical attacks on the northern Iraqi town of Taza. Daesh terrorists have launched several chemical attacks in both Syria and Iraq.
A Fly Dubai passenger jet with 62 people on board has crashed in the southern Russian city of Rostov-on-Don. Russian officials confirm 55 passengers and 7 crew members were killed. Among the passengers, 44 were Russian, 8 Ukrainian, 2 Indian, and 1 from Uzbekistan. A black box has been found at the crash site, and the investigative committee of Russia has said it is looking into pilot error or a technical failure as the most likely causes of the accident.
In the snow and freezing rain still pounding southern Russia, emergency teams pick through the thousands of shattered pieces. The passenger airliner appears to have disintegrated on impact. It's barely recognizable now. The camera catches a reminder of the dozens of passengers and crew who lost their lives. The grim task of identifying their remains could be painstaking.
Well, Turkey confirmed over 1,700 migrants have been intercepted and 16 smugglers detained in a large-scale operation on Friday. The operation took place on secluded beaches near the coastal town of Dikili. Turkish security forces said the move was part of a massive sweep to stop refugees reaching the Greek island of Lesbos. The operation involved the Coast Guard, Navy, and police and was backed by air support. The migrants, mostly from Syria and Afghanistan, will be questioned to determine their backgrounds as well as the next step for
The bomb attack in a busy shopping street in the Turkish city of Istanbul has killed 5 people, including the bomber. The explosion occurred on Istiklal Caddesi in the heart of Istanbul. At least 36 people are injured, 7 of them critically. A senior official says the attacker planned to hit a more crowded location at a different time, but he was deterred from the original target by police and detonated the bomb out of fear. He also said that initial findings indicate Kurdistan Workers' Party, or an affiliated group, is behind the attack. The incident comes a week after a car bomb explosion in the capital Ankara claimed the lives of 37 people.
The human rights chief says the Saudi-led alliance is responsible for the vast majority of civilian deaths in Yemen. It also expressed outrage at one of the deadliest airstrikes on a market there this week. The UN Human Rights Office said that since the coalition began its air campaign in Yemen a year ago, it had tallied nearly 9,000 civilian casualties, including more than 3,000 civilians killed. The Saudi-led coalition spokesman has been quoted as saying major fighting in Yemen is drawing toward a close, and that the next phase is a stage of restoring stability and reconstructing the country.
Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen continues to claim civilian lives in the impoverished Arab state. At least 4 people have been killed in Saudi artillery shelling on a residential neighborhood in the western city of Taiz. Meanwhile, more than 80 Saudi-backed mercenaries were killed in clashes with Yemeni forces in Dubab district of Taiz province. This came a day after casualties were reported in Yemeni retaliatory rocket attacks against the hideouts of the mercenaries in Hazm, the provincial capital of Jauf. More than 8,500 Yemenis have lost their lives in the year-long Saudi war.